Now today, it's really all the culmination of all that effort, bringing the first plastic back to shore, and marking the end of this first campaign. It was really experimental, and now starting the process of turning this plastic into durable, beautiful, sustainable products. There is this Great Pacific Garbage Patch out there. It's not going away by itself, so we have to go out there, unfortunately, and to go and clean it up. In September of last year, we launched our first system out of San Francisco. Of course, quickly hit a snag after that. Roughly a year ago, the system wasn't working, and we actually had a structure failure, causing the system to break in two, forcing us to bring the system back to land. But then beginning of the year, we took those lessons into account. Team worked hard to develop a second version of the system, relaunched, and after quite some tweaking, and we actually were able to find a configuration that was catching plastic, and not just the big stuff, but we were also catching the small pieces, the microplastics, down to a millimeter in size. And now today, it's really all the culmination of all that effort, bringing the first plastic back to shore. So one thing that's important to realize is that the garbage patch is not an island of trash. That's quite a misconception. Rather, it's highly dispersed. So this plastic is spread out over an area twice the size of Texas. So if you were to simply skim the ocean for plastic, it would take forever. It would be really expensive. So that's why we came up with this idea to basically deploy artificial coastlines where there are no coastlines, because we know coastlines are great in collecting plastic near shore, but the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is so far away from land, there's no coastlines to catch any plastic. So with these systems, they have kind of a parachute anchor attached to it, which slow down these systems and slow them down enough so that the plastic flows faster than the system, allowing the plastic to accumulate in these cleanup systems, which means that with a boat we can then periodically take the plastic out of the system and bring it to land, which is much more effective than having to skim the whole ocean. So with that system, we have been able to collect the first plastic and have now brought it back to shore.
We had our ups and downs, we had problems, we had structural failures, but eventually the team was able to take those lessons into account and actually get to a point that we had a system that was successfully catching plastic 2 months ago. So that was really quite an amazing moment, especially after all these things that we went through. And of course, around me we see the sort of the culmination of those efforts, and definitely it's seeing this makes me incredibly proud of what the team has done over the past years. And so a huge thanks to everyone who has been involved and for getting us to this point that we actually have the first plastic back on land, which is it just fills me with a lot of pride and joy.
The objective of this first campaign wasn't to maximize our harvest. It was really to prove, to validate the principles behind the cleanup system. Yet we still collected some plastic, kind of as a side effect. And so past 2 months, we've collected roughly 60 cubic meters of trash. That's still a small amount compared to the 100 million kilos that we still have to clean up. But on the other hand, it does already constitute roughly 14,000 football fields of ocean in terms of area. We've shown that you can catch plastic with a free-floating system in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, yet we're not yet ready to really rid the oceans of plastic. There's still this in-between step, the stepping stone that we have to do, which we call system number 2, which is going to be the first full-scale, fully operational cleanup system, for which we're starting the development right now. That's an essential stepping stone that we need to do before we can scale up to a whole fleet of cleanup systems in the years to come. So for the cleanup to happen, it's not just about the technical challenge, but there's also this financial challenge, because it's international waters, it's no one's problem. So what our idea is to, using the catch, create this economic model through which everyone can actually participate in the cleanup and be part of the solution. So the idea is that we take the plastic out and we turn that into beautiful, sustainable products that people can then buy and help to continue the cleanup. And these products are going to be 100% made from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And in the coming months, we'll be developing this. So it will be sorted, the waste will be recycled, and then in September we'll be launching the first product that we hope people will like. We don't have a final confirmation yet on the product, nor how many products we can make, nor the price. So that's why we now already invite our supporters to join the journey of the plastic. So if people go to our website, they can sign up for $50 and join the journey and basically claim their seat or be first in line for the products that we're going to make. Obviously, don't yet know the how exactly the system 2 is going to look like. What we do know is that there's still quite a few challenges to address. One of them is long-term durability, and the other one is long-term retention. Now, to explain that, it's important to know that the main cost driver of the cleanup is the use of vessels. Vessels are really expensive, so the less vessels you need in the process, the better it is, the more plastic you can collect with the same amount of funding. So one thing that's important is for the durability, that the system can stay out there as long as it needs to be without any maintenance. And of course, for the retention, what's important is that we can keep the plastic safely in the system for long periods, so that we don't have to come and collect the waste every month, but can wait really many months before we actually harvest this plastic. So those are the two main engineering challenges that we hope to address with system number 2. So seeing that first plastic come back into port, to be honest, it was quite a relief. That's the main emotion, because of course we invested a lot of effort and a lot of years working, round the clock, 7 days a week to get something working. And now seeing that confirmation that we went from 0 to 1, it's really quite amazing, and I'm really super proud of the team for getting us through all these ups and downs and now having the first plastic back on shore.